William?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, William?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jim.
Okay.
We're waiting for Vincent, I guess.
Yeah. Mr. Hall's on and someone else.
I think we're waiting for Vincent and Officer Pacheco.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Vin.
Morning, Vincent.
Good morning. I don't know who's running the meeting. Oh, there's Sean. Sean's one of our, just so you guys, that's Sean Kelly's one of our new reps that started since Joe, obviously John Check's no longer around. And Sean's one of our new reps. He just started, so I just wanted to introduce you to him. And so
I'm sorry, what's Vince, this is Jim. What's Sean's last name?
Kelly.
Kelly. Okay, thank you. Are we live, Erica?
Yeah, we're recording already.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Thank you. Vincent, are you ready to start?
were we waiting for George? I can't just.
You're muted, Jason.
Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get a hold of him.
There he is. And Ray, if you could hear us, you're muted.
All right, now you guys can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jason.
Okay, perfect.
Ray, if you're on, you're muted. And your video's not on either. I don't know if you were planning on turning that on.
Erica, this is Jim. Did you admit David Miller?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thanks. Let us know, Vincent, when you're ready.
Yeah, I was I was just waiting for Ray to come on, and now I don't even see him. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. If
Is,
everyone's
Is Officer Pacheco joining us or not?
I tried getting a hold of him. I don't know where he is right now. Maybe he'll join here in a second.
he had popped on, I thought, but okay. If Ray, if you guys are and Jason are ready to go, then you know we'll go from here. And hopefully he'll pop in.
All right.
Vincent and everyone else on the call also is my partner, David Miller. Let me introduce him. We've been practicing together for many years. He's done work for Miami Springs before, and I asked him to join in the negotiations. We do this in normal course of business in case I'm sick or gone somewhere or whatever, just so we have a backup. So David Miller, welcome.
Nice to meet you, David.
Hi, David.
Thank you. Nice to meet everybody.
Vincent, as you know, William forwarded to you a summary of our proposals for a 3-year contract a little while ago.
Correct.
So I think, although it's pretty self-explanatory, I think for everyone on the call and the public, I think the way we should proceed is I'll go over those, just summarize those for everyone, and then it's up to you whether you want to caucus or whatever you want to do. All right?
Okay.
The first one, which is of course always a big one, is we're offering a 3% cost of living increase for each of the 3 contract years for fiscal year 21, 22, and 23. And of course, as you folks that work there know, that's in addition to, for those people not topped out, a 5% possibility of a 5% merit each year. So that's the first one. On the retirement plan, which is obviously the other big guy in the room, your current contribution is 10.5%. We are offering to reduce the employee pension contribution to 9.5% for these 3 fiscal years. And at the end of this proposed contract, the cost sharing kicks in again at the end.
Could I ask you a question on that, Jim?
Sure. And if I can't answer it, William will.
Okay. So my question is, you had provided us with the GRS report for removing the freeze from the officers on their plan already. Could you go over that and explain how, if that was to happen, how that could go into effect and the costs involved to the members, please?
I can. I'll have to get it out of my file here. William, if you're more familiar with that, you can do it, or I'll be happy to do it.
I can do it. It's a quick analysis. Basically, if this were to go into effect, which the city is adamantly going to be against it because we went through this process 6 years ago. It was bargained on both sides. We spent months dealing with this, and we came up with a final proposal for. Let me just read some of the things that I have here. A little background on 2014, and then we'll go to today. In 2014, the contribution rate was approximately 22% for the officers. and scheduled to increase to almost 28% because of the cost sharing mechanism. The city reached a successful agreement with the FOP that year that resulted in the reduction of the pension contribution to 16%. Since then, the city has continually worked to reduce pension deductions. Although not required under the collective bargaining agreement, we have lowered the contribution down to 10.5 this past year. Our main objective has always been to reduce contributions as much as possible for the police force, and that's what we went through in 2014. To achieve the lower pension contribution rate in 2014, it was necessary to freeze the benefit multiplier rate for employees who were hired prior to 10/12/14. According to our actuary, if we now reverse the freeze on those employees, it will cause everyone's contribution effective October 1st to go to 12.9. And the city's portion would also increase by nearly $55,000. Excluding 3 employees that are in the drop, there are currently 13 members who were hired before 10/12/14 and 23 members who were hired after that date. If we reverse the 2014 freeze, our officers and sergeants who were hired before 10/12/14 would receive a benefit that newer police officers would not, and everyone's contribution would increase to 12.9 instead of being the reduced contribution of 9.5 as proposed. It is the city's position that this is not a fair exchange for our new and future police officers because they would be paying a significantly higher pension contribution with no benefit to themselves. Higher pension rates also hurt the city because they negatively impact officer recruitment, retention, and morale. This pension matter was resolved equitably in 2014 after both parties negotiated for months in good faith, and the agreement was voted upon and approved by the union membership. That's all I have, Vincent.
There you have it, Vincent. And I think you have the report, obviously, too.
Okay. Ray, you have some input on that you?
How would the new officers not benefit if we're asking them to get a 3% multiplier and be able to retire at 25? How are they not?
We have not agreed to the 3% on the new officers or the 75% cap. That's not, we're talking about what's in the contract now.
Well, we're talking about the pension as a whole. I mean, you guys, we created several tiers here.
Well, that was,
Especially we have 4 tiers.
Ray, that was negotiated after long and hard negotiations.
Right. I haven't seen it. I don't want to go back. If you want to go back to 2014, I was there. Okay. I don't ever remember anybody talking about a freeze. What we came to the table and we gave up a lot to work with the city. We gave up a lot. We set up a new tier for the new officers with reduced benefits. And then the officers, the 13 officers that you're talking about that were hired before 2014, we even worked with you guys and we told you we would allow the 5 years after the 20th year to go down, the multiplier to go down to 3, and you could hire, and then you could average the highest 5. I don't ever remember anything about being anything being frozen, and we could go back and forth on this. We just want to make it right.
Well, we don't need to go back and forth. You need to address that issue with your union, with the FOP, because the FOP contract is clear. It's clear. Well, let me finish. It's in the contract in black and white, and you guys approved it. The FOP was involved in these negotiations. I'm sure they had their own pension people looking at it. But you to come now and say we didn't know it was a freeze. Well, if you read the contract, it's clearly stated. So
no, what about the proposals? Do you have the proposals there?
We're not gonna, Mr. City Manager, I'm not gonna argue with you because about that. You're correct. It is in the,
Exactly.
in the
Let's make it
contract,
right.
but we're in negotiations right now, and that's what we're trying to do. Is that's what the members are looking for, and that's why we're trying to negotiate right now for something different, regardless of what was done in 2014. So, you know,
Well,
I'm not saying.
Thank
I
you.
know you already said that you guys are not willing to do that, but you know, we're in negotiations and we're trying to come up with something that works for everybody.
that's fine, Vincent. And William, let me just step in here for a minute.
But
It's clear, the contract is clear. What William said is correct. It was negotiated.
I agree with that.
The FOP was the union. It's clear in the agreement. It was ratified by the bargaining unit. It was ratified by the city legislative body. It is what it is. Now,
Correct.
so you can propose whatever you want, but you have our proposal, and our proposal is backed up by the actuarial figures that the actuary has provided, and which we've provided to Vincent. So
Right, so we'll go up 2% only. To fix that, is what it was what the actuary is saying. Am I correct?
the actuary
2.1.
says what it says in his report and in his advice. Now, that's our proposal. We are not getting rid of the freeze. I just want to, I don't want to be rude about it, but I want you to understand what our position is. We're not going to get rid of the freeze. You want me,
Well, let's, I guess, move on to the next item on your list then.
all right,
And we'll discuss that on our end.
sure. The next one was a premium pay, this regarding shift differential. We are not agreeing to your proposal, but we are proposing an increase for the afternoon shift. As you can see on our sheet, from 1.75% to 2%, and on so-called night shift from 3% to 3.25%. As far as the motormen, motorcycle officers rather, we cannot agree to your proposal, but we are offering an increase to $80 bi-weekly. On Article 26, you wanted to change the date upon which longevity is paid. We agree to that. Just to move things along here, your proposals on hours of work, that is counting leave in for calculating overtime, is not acceptable. Your increase of more than doubling the comp time is not acceptable. Your time and a half for compensable hours exceeding 40 in each 7-day period is not acceptable. The contract addresses that issue. The court time proposals you've made, which is different, there's 4 different proposals, are not acceptable. The certified instructors apply 5% to their current and progressive pay rate is not acceptable. Your retirement plan proposal on the multiplier is not acceptable, and your sick leave proposal is not acceptable. In addition, and as you can see at the bottom, on toxicology and drug testing, we are proposing an article.
I didn't see that. That didn't come over on my thing, I don't think.
Well, that must have been the copy machine or our transmission or something, but
What is the proposal?
all right, that'd be Article 38, toxicology and alcohol testing. It's not in the agreement now. The FOP's not made a proposal. We are proposing 2 things. An article regarding random drug testing. You don't have it in your agreement right now, but most police agreements do, or a lot of them in any event. The other thing we're proposing regarding drug testing is testing after accidents. And Vincent, you may be aware of this, but there was an incident regarding a police officer, and your predecessor at one point took the position that we were not allowed to test after an accident. That was resolved, and that matter has been resolved, but we want to put in the contract to make it clear that we have the right to test people after an accident. And then the last thing is on appointments and promotions.
What article was that?
I have
Nine C.
9C. And this is also an issue that has arisen in the past at Miami Springs. As far as appointments and promotional exams, we would like the ability to round up test scores. I don't see how that discriminates against anyone.
Yeah, Jason would be a sergeant right now.
What?
Jason would be a sergeant.
I'll pass.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know about Jason, anything about that.
All right,
But
I'm not familiar with the article. I'd have to look at it the way it reads right now, but you're looking to round up the test scores?
yeah, and that,
Okay.
I suppose, depending on what situation you're in, you're either for it or against it, you know?
Okay.
What happened, Vince, in the past, and the latest exam that we had some people come up with scores of 69.8. And according to our contract, that's not you can't round up. So they basically failed that section of it. So I know other cities do that, but we want to be able to, if you're 69.8, be able to round up to 70.
Okay, understood. So we'll take a look at that. So back to the 38, the toxicology one. I understand your position on two with testing after an accident or some other thing. I don't have, actually, like I said, it may be on the computer, but it didn't, when I printed it out, it didn't come with it. So your number one, the random drug testing, what is the method which you're looking to do, or how are you looking to do random drug testing or looking for it?
That's an excellent question. And for purposes of today's meeting, we wanted to run the concept by you to see if there's at least we can proceed with the discussions on that. We're open to that. As you know, both in FOP and I'm sure you know in some PBA agreements, there's random testing and there's different ways to do this. We're not looking to break new ground here. We just want sort of a standard random testing clause, and we'll work with you on the details of that.
Okay, we'll have to, we'll definitely look at that, like I said, because it's a new so those are the two articles that your team is looking to open up for this negotiations.
That's the random the testing and the rounding up.
Okay.
The one I got, William had also sent this sheet to me, and those last two were cut off mine as well. So I think it's probably.
Okay, I'm sure it's just an error with the way the spreadsheet was. So we will, if you guys could get that to us, that'd be great.
Yeah, but I read it.
Vincent, try opening up the file and scroll down and see if maybe they just didn't print the last two lines.
Let me take a look.
I didn't get it either, William.
Scroll down on your sheet and see if you see it.
Sure. No, but there's a page 2 in there, which I didn't know about. So I do have it, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, that's not it either. But there is a page 2 I didn't know about. Let me see if it's on page 3. No page 3. Okay, yeah, it actually is on there, and I see it's just, but it's just the 2 lines, just basically like Jim said. So, okay, so it is on there. it must have gotten cut off on the printer.
On the printer, yeah.
Okay, so if, you know, obviously you guys know of, the articles we opened, we'll have to, review those, and we know what articles, can we, TA on and close out all the other open articles then, that we could say no one wants to open up?
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, I say yes, Vincent, with the understanding that our position is a package, and should you decide to come up with some new proposals that we would need to respond to, we could do that, and in return, we might propose something if you come up. But at the moment, yes,
yeah, well, I'm just, I mean, we're gonna, you know, being, we just got obviously this morning before the meeting, and I don't know what happened. You know, we didn't get to discuss this earlier. It
understand.
just didn't work out with us timing wise with our team. So we're gonna have to go over this, but obviously we'll take your articles that you opened, those last two that you just told us about, into consideration, and come up with what we would agree, if, you know, if we are going to agree to it, what we agree to a type of policy with that. And on the articles that you guys did not accept, we'd like to make a counter offer on them and see if anything could be changed. So we will do that, but I would think that we could stay within those parameters, and the rest, you know, just agree that anything else that's in the contract that neither of us want to open, we can consider closed, and that neither of us will open them up.
Okay,
All right.
I got you.
All right. So,
Vincent, I'd like to make a
Yes.
point to what
Yes, sir.
Officer Tamargo had said. The offer that you had on the new offers was going to 3 and a cap of 75. That is not included in what the actuary did for work. He only calculated the cost of eliminating the freeze at
understood.
12.9. So, you know,
And that
realistically, what's
was,
going to happen, if I were to have him calculate this one, the cost would be a lot higher.
okay. And
So, but we didn't consider that because we're not doing that at this time for the new
I
offer.
understood what you're saying.
That's
So
number
would
one.
we-
And number two, Vincent, we're up against September 30th. The problem I have is that effective October 1st, according to the actuary, if we don't have an agreement, the pension contribution for officers is 16.2 for next year, if we don't have an agreement. And I want to avoid that.
Okay. And that's as of October 1st, you said?
Take your head, Ray, it's true. It's true. If we don't have an
Did I say
agreement,
anything?
no,
I
but
haven't
you're
said
shaking
anything.
your head smiling like if I'm lying.
I didn't say anything.
I'm telling you what the facts are. Look at the actual
I didn't say
report
anything,
for next year. October
didn't say
1st
anything to
is
you, William.
16.2.
Mr. Alonso, just a question for you about your original actuary, sir.
Right.
That you said that their contribution would go to 12.9. What would be the contribution that the city would have to go on that?
I said our city costs would increase by $55,000.
Well, what is that percentage wise? Do you know?
Oh, no, not offhand.
I
No.
just was wondering.
That's not 2.1? Wouldn't that be 2.1?
Basically, yeah, well, we're cost sharing, so it'll be about the same.
Okay.
Correct. But that's what your GRS report just says.
Correct.
All right.
But William, real quick, what would be the total value for the fiscal year that the city would have to contribute? What's the total dollar amount?
Based on what?
Based on with the pension contribution as it is right now, what is the city looking?
As it is right
dollars?
now?
Yes.
At 9.5?
Yes.
About $470,000.
$470,000. Okay, that's all I need to know.
And just to let you know, the benefits that we're offering, the COLA, the pension contribution at 9.5, the shift differential, and the motorcycle off, you're talking about over $200,000 in additional costs to the city this year. And as James Crossland pointed out, aside from the 3% COLA, officers get step increases, which are 5%. So we have, for next year's budget, for example, we have 28 officers that are literally getting an 8% raise between the 3% COLA and the step increase. So I wanted you to keep that in mind also.
Okay.
And keep in mind that we've had a very tough budget year, as most cities have because of the COVID situation. And I think what we're offering is more than generous based on the circumstances the city's facing.
Okay, sir. So I'll be honest, I don't think that on our end, we're going to be able to resolve this right now with a caucus. So I would say that we'll try to make it sooner than later, but as soon as possible, make another date for us to come back, and we'll with what we could accept and what any of our counter proposals are to you. But we would like to do that, like you said, you're on a time crunch and we understand that. So, we'd like to do it as soon as possible, maybe early next week if possible. If
Whenever you want, if you want to meet every day, I'm available. I don't know about Jim Crossland.
Well, obviously we're on Jim's schedule.
Right.
I tell you what, Vincent, I've got a lot of stuff next week, but we'll make it happen. Okay. Let me look at all my Zoom things. I'll talk to William. I'll call you. We'll set something for next week.
Okay. Let me just make sure I'm not speaking in that my schedule is, the beginning of the week, I'm definitely okay right now.
Which time frame?
Whatever's good for you. The beginning of the week, I'm pretty open right now. So, something like this would be fine again, if that's okay with you, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock-ish hour, something like that. Beginning of next week. So, and we'll get together on our end and, we'll address our stuff, and we'll come back to you.
Well, I can tell you right now, Vincent, just to help you along, Monday's really jammed. Tuesday, I have something for a couple hours in the morning. The afternoon is free, and Wednesday is free.
Whatever we could do later. If Tuesday in the afternoon is good, then we can do Tuesday in the afternoon.
And David, what about you?
Tuesday's my best day. I do see something in the calendar for you on Wednesday, but maybe that's old
That's
information.
changeable. That could be changed.
Okay.
So if you guys want to do something Tuesday in the afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock, is that good, or is that too early for your other appointment?
I would say 2 o'clock would be fine with me. William, are you okay with it?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
If you send out, just send out the invite. Just if you could remember when you send out the invite to put Ray, Jason, and George on that, and I'll take care of forwarding it to Sean right now. I don't think you have his email.
And William, please have Erica send that to David Miller as well.
Okay, David Miller. Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you for your time today, and we will work on this, and we'll meet next week, and hopefully we can come to agreement. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe.
Morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.